Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another Magic Origins Swiss draft. Rare is not the first pick, so we're looking at, got actually a lot of options here. Blessed Spirits, Valoran Wardens, Girapure, Gearcrafter, Separatist Void Mage, Suppression Bonds. I really can go basically any direction I want. I think I might avoid white because there's a lot of good white picks in here, and it's the most popular color. Like if I pick a white pick here, I'm passing somebody a Suppression Bonds. If I take the Suppression Bonds, I'm passing someone a Blessed Spirits. Whereas if I take like a Gearcrafter, nobody's going into red from this pack, which is kind of nice. Then again, I can't really wheel anything. I think I want the Wardens the most. I really have come to appreciate this card quite a bit. Granted, it's only a 3-mana 1/3, but Renown 2 and the value you can get off of it, I think I've come to like quite a bit. I'm going to take it. Okay, well, on color follow-up pick is Elvish Visionary. Best card is probably Patron of the Valiant. Separatist Void Mage is very good as well. I love the Void Mage. I could have first picked it. There's also a Lightning Javelin. I think I like Void Mage more. I've come to like green-blue quite a bit, to be honest. I think green-blue has worked surprisingly well for me. So I could take the Patron. I don't think I want to, especially after passing the Power White Pack 1. And Void Mage is really good. I don't know. It's been really good for me. I haven't had any issues with the card at all. I do think a 5-mana 4/4 flyer is pretty awesome, though. But I actually think Void Mage is a better follow-up after a Wardens. Like, going Wardens Void Mage is pretty insane. Wardens, Void Mage, bounce your blocker, attack you, Renown 2, draw a card. We'll go Void Mage. Okay. Wild Instinct seems like a pretty awesome pick here. It's removal. It's good removal. There's also Rune Servitor, which I like quite a bit. I haven't played the Angel's Tomb yet in all of these drafts. I think it's a fine card. I'm just not blown away by it. I do think Wild Instincts is a very good card, though. It's one of those cards that works well with Void Mage, too, because you get to bounce. Maybe they replay the creature. Then you play Instincts, kill it, get in for 4. Kind of like these blue-green tempo-y things. Alright, well, there's a Fleshbag Marauder. There's also a Water Courser, which is good. There's a Might of the Masses, which I've actually come to like quite a bit. I'm fine taking a Water Courser here, actually. I think it's pretty good. I think Iroas's Champion is also good, but I actually just like Water Courser. Best card in the pack? I don't know. It's actually probably, the Champion, which I don't think I'm going to play, just based on the first 3 picks we have. So, for that reason, I kind of just want to take Water Courser instead of like a Marauder, since I would like to play the Void Mage. This pack's a bit of a miss. I think I could take the Ram Roller, actually. I think that's fine. It's early enough where I could find some blue artifact enablers. I don't have anything for Elemental Bond yet. It's tough to make an Elemental Bond deck, in this format especially, but I'll take the Ram Roller. It's the only card of interest that I think we could potentially get some value out of this deck with. Well, Ram Roller for days. I guess theoretically the more Ram Rollers you get, the more often they're going to be turned on, but even turned on, it's not like it's broken. I think I'd rather just have an Orchard Spirit. It's evasive. It doesn't have to attack each turn. It doesn't have a requirement. Like, I was thinking enabling with, like, Aspiring Aeronaut or something, not more Ram Rollers. Okay, so interesting. I could take Shadows of the Past. I actually think the card's fine. I could take the Hitchclaw Recluse. I actually think Recluse is better in this format than I originally thought, because sometimes you need to be sort of defensive. At this point, I really do want to be in green, so I think continuing to take green picks is a fine idea. I don't think a Shadows of the Past this late, or a Cleric of the Fourth Order, or a Dragon Fodder really means that the colors are open necessarily. All right, Rock Mauler is pretty awesome. I do love me a Rock Mauler. I love Timberpack Wolf too, especially getting one in pack 1. But Timberpack Wolf is actually the best of those types of cycle, in my opinion. I like it more than Undead Servant because the 2-mana 2/2 is always good in this format. I like it more than the Cleric of the Forward Order because getting bigger in multiples I think is better than just gaining life. And I like it more than Fairy Miscreant because a 1-mana 1/1 is not that impressive, even when it has flying. So I do think Timberpack Wolf is the best of that cycle. However, I'm going to take the Rock Mauler because I've just been more impressed with the card. All right, well, Tabled Separatist Void Mage is pretty awesome. Love that card. Happily picking it up. Tabled Elvish Visionary. Perfect. I'll take the Might of the Masses here, actually. I've come to appreciate the card. It's a cheap combat trick. Works really well in a deck like this, I think, where you've got creatures that have abilities like Visionary and Void Mage. Another reason why Jiraga Invocation is so strong, I think, in a deck like this. But I like it a little bit more than the Screeching Scab. Aerial Volley is a good sideboard card. I'm more interested in that than potentially main decking Boned Ash. I'm going to let someone take the Battle Priest and just cut blue. I'll let someone have Murder Investigation too, actually. Maybe it tells them in pack 1, go ahead and go in white. Pass me the green and the blue. Although we didn't end up with a lot of blue, but the 3 blue cards we have are quite good. So I don't mind the base that we're working with here. We have a removal. We've got some tempo cards. Got a couple Renown. I do think Rock Mauler works pretty well with the Wardens. All right, well, Tragic Arrogance is in here, which is pretty insane, but I think I might be more interested in the Sigiled Starfish. I do love to scry. And a 0/3 body. Another card that actually works just fine with both Might of the Masses and Jiraga Invocation. I know I keep saying Jiraga Invocation like I have one, but you can always hope, right? It's just an uncommon. I've seen it go late. I do think Dwynen's Elite's a good card, but I think Starfish is just going to be better. I love to scry and block. All right, Scab Goliath. I got quite a few people telling me how wrong I was about not main decking it last time, so maybe I should just pick it here. But there are some other good cards. I mean, Disciple works well with the Wardens, and it's just a good card. Water Courser is a good card. I think I would take Disciple over Water Courser, but maybe I guess we are actually looking for a little bit of top end, and Scab Goliath. Let's actually maybe play it this time, get a nice, positive, powerful 6-drop. All right, well, there's Alhamerit, which I don't think is busted, but certainly seems like the most exciting pick in this pack. Certainly more exciting than a Bonded Construct, so you got it. We'll take it. Okay, I guess we can take Turn to Frog. It's okay. Once again, it seems like it's the best card for us. It's more exciting than Might of the Masses and Screeching Scab, so okay. We'll take it. It's a blue removal spell in a color deck that really does not have access to a lot of different removal. This is kind of an unexciting one. I think we'll take Screeching Scab. It works the best with our Scab Goliath, and we're kind of in need of more 2-drop creatures, so I don't see why not. Otherwise, it's another Might of the Masses, which doesn't exactly seem necessary yet. Kind of an unexciting pack again. I can take the Bonded Construct. I like Bonded Construct more than most people do. I actually think it's a perfectly fine card. If we've learned anything from this format, it's that it's hyper fast. So what better way to combat a hyper fast format than a 1-mana 2-powered, defensive creature? I mean, stop those Topin Freeblades in their tracks. I think I'm going to take Bonded Construct here. I think it's fine. I've never had an issue with this card, and I think I don't know. If people want to keep passing it, I really don't care. At the very least, it's like I don't main deck it, and I have an excellent sideboard card against the Topin Freeblade deck. Yeah, seems fine. I'm going to take Clash of Wills over the second one, though. I love Clash of Wills. I think it's a great card, and there's There's really nothing else here except maybe Caterpillar and Construct. I don't really like the Scrapskin Drake in a deck like this that already has a great late game plan and really just needs to have a good early game plan to survive. I will say Bond of Construct and Elvish Visionary kind of suck with Turn to Frog and Screeching Scab for that matter too. So maybe just the Turn to Frog is the least exciting, but whatever. I think we'll find some more bears. Okay, Titanic Growth I actually like a lot in this format, so I'll take it. We're looking fine. I think we're looking just fine. I think as of right now, I probably don't want to do Ram Roller. We don't look like a deck that wants to attack every turn. We look much more like a deck that wants to get value at the right time and win through our mid to late game. I think Automaton is actually fine here. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility that I play Ram Roller, but I just think it's pretty unlikely. I'm going to take the second Water Courser over the second Turn to Frog. Water Courser has been really good card for me so far in this format. And a 3-mana 2/3, great. How about a 3-mana 2/3 that can magically turn into a 4/1? Also very good. Alright, I guess we'll take the Drake here. It's actually a fine sideboard card against the Flyer decks, but I think it's unlikely we main deck it. Alright, Guardians in case I need more early blockers. Otherwise, seems unlikely I'll play it. I think Gnarl Root Trapper is actually a good card for the Elf deck, so I might as well hate that. Especially in a deck like ours that's trying to be defensive. But already our late game plan is pretty fantastic. Scab Goliath and Alhamerit and Rock Mauler are all a solid late game plan. And our early game plan is actually pretty good too. I wouldn't mind seeing an Empath to really top this deck off quite a bit. Honored Hierarch. Yeah, that is a card. Towergeist, much better. So we'll take the Towergeist first pick, a pretty nice one. War Oracle, maybe. And I guess there's a Wild Instincts in here, too. That's interesting. I'm very short on removal. We have some decent creatures for Wild Instincts, too. I think Towergeist is actually just a better card, though. I really do. I think getting an evasive dude that just straight up generates card advantage as well as maybe fills my graveyard for Goliath. I think I actually want the Geist over the Wild Instincts here. As short on removal as I may be. Nissa's Revelation is kind of a sketchy card. I think we have more than enough creatures to support it, but I think 1/7 drops probably enough. And I think you just pay too much for not quite enough. I think it's fine. Not amazing. I kind of want this Disciple, actually. I've come to like this card quite a bit. And I'd probably rather run it than like a Guardian Automaton, honestly. I just like Pharykis Disciple a lot, especially in a deck that's got the Wardens, like I said. I think Screeching Scab, hope to table that, or the Ring Warden Owl. Either of those would be fine, but I like the Disciple quite a bit. 2/3 Death Touch is really nice. Okay, interesting. So I guess we take the Dwynen's Elite. It's actually not that great in this deck, though. It's a 2-mana 2/2, but we only have one other. We do only have one other elf, which is a bit of an issue. Could take a third Water Courser, actually. I mean, Water Courser's always good. There's really never a time where Water Courser's bad. I guess in multiples they do get worse. I mean, I could see that. I could take the Ring Warden Owl. I'm not amazed by it. Admittedly, though, Dwynen's Elite's not insane in this deck. It is just a cheap thing to do. I'll take it anyway. Maybe we get another elf, possibly. I guess it's not super likely, though. But I guess maybe playing 3 Water Coursers is kind of weird. Well, there's a Willbreaker. As someone correctly pointed out, you can target something and then not play it and steal with Willbreaker. So I'll at least do a count on things we can target. So Might of the Masses, actually, that's kind of interesting. Willbreaker in this deck actually is reasonable. Might, Turn to Frog, Titanic Growth. That's 3, 4, 5... Well, 6, but you probably kill it. I guess we only have like 5 things. Man, I keep wanting to play Willbreaker again ever since the first time I played it, but I got to admit, it's a tough card to really comfortably play, whereas Llanowar Empath works just in quite a few ways in this deck, since it gives us card advantage like Elvish Visionary, but it's also an elf for our Dwynen's Elite. I mean, Willbreaker's the more exciting card. I think I'm still going to take Empath. Empath's just been too good for me to pass up there. I can take the Force Mage. It's another elf. I think we can cut Automaton pretty easily anyway. So I take Force Mage, get another elf for the deck. Possibly more things to strike down my opponent with. Maybe I can cut the main deck construct sideboard into it on the draw against the aggro deck, or, well, on the play against the aggro deck in Game 3 if it comes to that. Otherwise, there's another Ring Warden Owl, but I think I actually will take the Force Mage here. There it is. Waiting for that late draw invocation. Ask and ye shall receive. Perfect. It's like exactly what I want for this deck. I actually think Mighty of the Masses and Titanic Growth are great too. I almost want to cut Turn to Frog. Just end up with like a more beatdown deck at this point. Like, Turn to Frog is good. Maybe Turn to Frog is a better sideboard card against some bomby threat that's going to be tough to deal with. Regardless, I'm playing Dragon Invocation. I love that card. All right, Chief of the Foundry is interesting. Unfortunately, we've sideboarded all of our artifacts. It's probably still the best card. I mean, it's absolutely the best card for us. Otherwise, I guess maybe I do want Caustic Caterpillar, actually, since it's an actual sideboard card that takes out important pesky artifacts and enchantments. There's been quite a few times that I wish I had Caterpillar, mainly when I'm playing against the Suppression Bond decks. It's really nice to have Caterpillar. I guess because Chief of the Foundry actually does nothing for this deck and I have enough creatures. At least does nothing for this deck's main deck. I think I'm actually just going to take the Caterpillar for sideboard. All right, Gorger seems fine. I've got enough late game, though. I don't even need the Gorger. I've certainly got enough creatures. I think I'm actually going to just hate a Prickle Boar, which can be an annoying card to play against. Honored Hierarch Tables. Well, maybe I want a second Force Mage, but you know, the reason to take a Force Mage is how well it works with Renown. Like, mostly the Wardens. What would I cut for the Force Mage? Maybe I could cut a Recluse and be a bit... And it does fuel our Dwynen's Elite. I don't necessarily think I need a second Caterpillar. I'll take the Force Mage. I think there's a decent chance that we make it work. We did table the Revelation. I mean, the funny thing is, I would say it's the odds of missing on Revelation are extremely low in like an 18-19 creature deck. But even with that, like most of my guys are, it'd be like paying 7 mana to gain 2 life, draw 2 cards most of the time. And I don't like that. I think I'm actually going to take the Screeching Scab. More Scab Goliath fuel. I still don't need the Ring Warden Owl, I don't think. All right, Return Centaur actually seems kind of annoying against us. Blightcaster I'll just turn off from somebody. Negate's a good sideboard card. I think our deck is very good. Warhorn is actually fine, but I don't think we need it. Just running all the creatures. I think we're likely just gonna end up cutting some creatures here. I haven't figured out which ones yet. I kind of don't want to cut. Any elves. Because I've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. How many elves do I have total? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is not that many. So I would prefer to keep my odds of doing something with Dwynen's Elite as high as possible, especially since we're running Draga Invocation. I'm fine keeping the Al-Hamaret around since it's like our only 7-drop. I wish that we actually had Leaf Gilders in here now. I don't want to run 18 lands. I think we'll be fine with 17 lands. So I guess We have good card draw, too, actually, in Elvish Visionary, Valoron Wardens, Towergeist, Lanorampath, all very good ways to gain life. As far as removal goes, we're a little bit light, but not horrible. We have Might of the Masses, Titanic Growth, Wild Instincts, Drog, Invocation. All quite good. And double Separatist Void Mage, not to be overlooked. I think we cut Recluse. It's a better sideboard card against the Flyers decks. And I think I might want to cut a Scab here, one of them. I could cut a Force Mage, but like I said, I kind of like how the Force Mages work with our Renown guys, and even our 2-drops, and our Dwynen's Elite, and our Orchard Spirit. There's actually quite a few things where Force Mage can be good. It was much better in this format than I think I originally gave it credit for. You also have to factor that it's a very good card to have in a 19-creature deck. I think soon to be an 18-creature deck, though. So, yeah, it seems like our weakest creature is probably a Screeching Scab. Even though it feeds the Scab Goliath, other than that, it's a pretty unexciting 2-drop. Yeah, I like this deck. I think it's very powerful. I think it's very good. We are running a 7-drop with a 17-land base, but our curve's not horrible, is it? No, our curve's actually quite good. I guess we have quite a few 4-drops. Oh. Clash of Wills can be a 2-drop, though, so our curve's not that bad, actually. Most of our deck, the vast majority of our deck is 4 or less, and then we have 4 spells that are 5 or more, which is pretty standard, I would say, for a 17-land deck to function just fine. And like I said, if you look at the card advantage we've got here, Sigiled Starfish, which at least increases your card quality, Elvish Visionary, Towergeist, Lanorampath, 4 cards that really help us hit our land drops or help us filter through lands if we're flooded. So I like it. I do like it. I think it's a nice looking deck. We can get out of the El Hamerit plan if we're playing against Hyper Aggro, sideboard into the Bonded Construct and the Screeching Scab, just bring us more cheap stuff. Maybe even throw a 4-drop out for a Automaton, get some life gain plus trade. Although all of our 4-drops are pretty insane. Maybe get out of the Force Mage territory and more into the defensive life gain territory, though, in some matches. But yes, I do like this deck quite a bit. So more green than blue. Probably just do a 9-8 split, which is what they suggest. Well, perfect. I like it. Good looking deck. Guess we even have a Guardians for sideboard too. So we have a good sideboard plan against aggro, even Turn to Frog. We have actually just a, this is probably more sideboard cards than I usually have. Yeah, I don't think this is probably the first draft where I've had straight up 10 options for my sideboard. That is insane, actually. That's really cool. So it's going to be nice to have a versatile, sideboard to choose from. All right, we'll see you round 1.